we rise to the top, can't stop this flow. In the heart of the jungle, we're ready, let's go. In the heart of the jungle, we're ready, let's
Welcome everybody to another episode of the Roundtable here with Ben. What's going on, man?
Not much, man. Just another beautiful day. What's up with you?
Life. It's been a wild ride this week, but it's taught me a lot. So that's what really matters this week.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Well, hopefully you're good and
we'll be there.
in the right
Don't
mental
worry.
state
Yeah,
and
I was
everything.
gonna say,
and
that's
the most important part, man. Staying leveled, grounded.
there's a reason things happen.
Well, cool, man. I sent you a video, man. I wanted to talk through that stuff really quick, and we'll get right back into it, and then maybe we can record another one really quick and talk to your situation. I think it'd be cool. So the topic that I want to talk on is, the book Grit by Angela Duckworth, which I'm not sure if you've actually read it or not.
I haven't even heard of it. I listened to what you sent me twice.
Okay. So you got the general consensus or the general idea summary of what the book is about. I mean, it goes into a lot more in depth in the book and different examples and stuff like that. But the topic is for today, I think, is building resilience. And I don't think that I didn't know that. Building resilience and, really how to bounce back stronger with, some of the adversity, some of the things that we deal with on a consistent basis. And that's kind of the topic of it, because I know you've had a lot of bounce back when it came to, personal challenges and setbacks that you've had in your life. Whether it be with your mental state, whether it be physically, whether it be in a relationship, whatever. I know, just as I've known you in the short amount of time that I've known you, and some of the conversations we'd had, I can for sure confirm that you have bounced back from something.
I'm on the bounce back right now.
There you go.
Like literally on it right now.
So that's I think is. We all go through it.
Oh, yeah.
We all go through our moments. We all have those moments where it's really time to just pick yourself back up. And the title of the book, Grit, is you having that grit, to the willingness to do those things, to really step outside and take advantage of, the hard things that you do in your life, and still persevering and pushing forward to do those things. So, and I'm going to reference my notes here because that's just the way that I work best off of. But, she emphasizes that grit is defined as, passion and perseverance, right? That's kind of what she talks about in the video. And it's not over a short period of time, but it's over a long period is how she states it.
10 years, if I remember right.
Correct. Exactly.
See, I told you I listened.
And, she also says that it's a stronger predictor. It's stronger predictor for success than it would be to than talent, right? Your grit's going to be a lot more, indicator of success versus you just being talented, because people can be talented at many different things, but if you're an easy quitter, like you're just willing to give up, more than likely the statistics show that you won't do anything with it.
I mean, just thinking about what she's talking about, I know you don't want to talk a ton about the video, but she's talking about the first 10 years of her life, from 22 to 32, where she built what she thought was needed, but she didn't put the grit to do what was actually needed. She built the resume to look great, but not the grit to stay and grind something out.
Right. No, and I think
the way I understood it.
No, that's exactly how I understood it. So if you and I listen to the same thing and we get the same conclusion, but so my question was, did you agree with that perspective? But also, were there moments in your life where, grit helped you achieve something that the talent alone, wouldn't?
I would say damn near everything I've done. I mean, every job I've gone into, just to say job-wise, I haven't had the experience necessarily, but I've had the grit to continue to push to learn, which to me is one of my best and favorite attributes. Is if you give me a chance, I'm willing to learn it. And I will put forth all my effort to learn it. I mean, I didn't know jack about washing cars, which, I mean, it's a simple concept, but I was able to do it real quick. I didn't know anything about running a sales team. I was quickly put into a commercial manager, running a team, running sales, making sure, all that. It wasn't like, I wouldn't say I fumbled at it at all. If I was in my mindset now, I could probably do better. I didn't know how to set up a sales report or a car, do a bid for a car repair when I started doing sales at Big O, but give me a couple weeks, I figured it out pretty quick. I didn't know how to do car repairs, but I have enough grit to just do it. I didn't know sheet metal layout. I didn't know how to polish. I knew how to weld. That was what I started my whole job with. And again, I'm at this point where for the most part, there's not much I can't do when it comes to that job, but I'm always going to learn, keep learning more if I can, because I have the grit to continue to push. Same with weightlifting. I'm always trying to learn new things. I've always got the grit to just show up and do the work and keep persevering. And it doesn't matter. I mean, hurt my back, I couldn't wait to bounce back to the gym. Shoulder hurts, I can't wait to bounce back to get more and more weight on there. Definitely.
Yeah. No, I think that, and I agree with your point, I think, and with her basis of that, of grit outshining talent, I think a lot of times that's what holds people back, is because we don't feel like we have enough talent to do the things that we want to do, right? Whether it be, take the entrepreneurship part of it, right? We've talked about a lot of business ideas and stuff that we can do to progress forward. And sometimes we can get in our heads and say like, well, I don't have any experience in that. I don't have the talent. I don't have the knowledge, I guess you could say, even though I think you can get the knowledge anywhere nowadays, pretty much through anything.
But if you got the grit, who cares?
Exactly. If you have the willingness to fail, to continuously fail forward, and I think that's what you need, is the willingness to just pick yourself back up, bounce back from, if you tried it and it didn't work, to do it again and try something, whether it be the same along the same lane, or just do something more to continue to push forward. Use your analogy of the gym, right? I think, the gritty part is that, you have to, you were, and I'm sure you're still doing it, but you have to be there at 4:30. That's the gritty part. That's the gritty part is that you choose to do it every single day.
Yeah.
Even if, you had maybe not the best workout the day before, you choose to show up the next day. To me, that's, you can be the guy that knows everything, every lift, knows what every machine does. You're a teacher, I guess. You're an expert at every workout that you can think of. Like, but I'll choose the guy that's willing to show up every single day and be like, well, I don't know that one, but he's willing to just do it. He's willing to just try it, just give it a shot. To me, that'll beat the guy the theorist every single time that just picks up a book or looks up a YouTube video to figure it out. Like that, to me, that's grit. That's the willingness to push through, because you're probably going to fail. You're probably going to suck at it, but you're willing to just continuously try and make yourself better.
I mean, I've been going at nights, but still, I have to have the grit to show up. I mean, I got to get up at like 5:30. I got to go work 10 hours at sometimes a very physically demanding job.
Mm-hmm.
And then to still have the grit to show up and lift weights for myself at that point.
Right.
Yeah, I have my wife with me. We might have some friends with us, but I'm showing up for me to lift the weights for me. I got to bounce back from whatever happened during the day to show up for myself at that point.
Yeah, I love that.
I got to have the grit to show up and say, I don't care what the hell happened today. Why don't I put that into the weights instead of into aggression towards anything else?
Right.
Upset, family, whatever. I try to put that all into the weights versus coming home and holding on to any more.
Yeah, I love that. No, and I think that also leads into, like, she talks about the mindset behind it, having the growth mindset. And, we briefly talked about the failures part of it, where, I don't know. I mean, you've even talked about a lot of your gym failures in the past of, deadlifting and stuff, some of the stuff that you've tried and maybe you haven't done as good as you wanted to, or you've had setbacks.
Hell no. I was so pissed last night. That's a story for a different day. But no, I mean, but to your point, sorry to cut you off, but to your point, there's a learning experience in that. Every single one. Why was I not able to do that? I can't answer the question most of the time why I can lift a 45 today on shoulder press, but tomorrow I can only do a 40. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's because my shoulder's jacked up. Maybe it's because I have less energy, less food, whatever the case may be. But I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to understand myself, my body, and I'm trying to learn from that as to why I couldn't do that. Pretty sure that's where you're going with that. But
no, it's exactly what it is. Is you I think when we've talked about this, and you can hear it in some of the stories that you give, is you use those opportunities where you can bounce back from the setbacks that you had to really look at the failures of the things that you've done, that you look at them as opportunities of learning, as learning opportunities, not necessarily that I failed, but you've always put it in the light of where I'm can learn something from this. Even if you didn't get the result or the thing that you expected to get out of it, your expectation is always, I'm just going to learn.
Yeah. I mean, to word it maybe a little bit differently, I had commented on somebody's post that said something about quitting, and I said, well, I don't use that word. So I prefer to use the word failure, because I'm not quitting what I'm doing. I might fail, and I might try it a different way, but I'm not going to quit just because it didn't work. I'm going to take the failure and I'm going to learn from it and grow from it. Whatever the case may be, I'm going to try to learn and grow from it.
Yeah, that's we've talked about it a million times.
Yeah.
That is an important part of having that mindset. That mindset really can doom you or make you to what you really want to be, because that's the basis of it.
So I got a question for you. I didn't take notes,
Very
but
good.
I got a question for you. So she talks about talks about how talent is, I can't remember how she words it. She's talking about how education, how you can learn. She's talking about how it's either talent or it's not talent, because you kind of have talent, but I think you know where I'm going. She talks about how that you can continue to learn on it. I can't think of her words now. I had it in my mind until I started talking. Now it's pissing me off.
You're good.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I think I have an idea.
It's right. I'm pretty sure it's right at the beginning of the video.
Okay.
She talks about how oh, hell. Man, I'm irritated. I can't remember it.
You're good, brother.
Oh, man.
You're good. So, yeah, in the very beginning, I mean, she starts off by essentially talking, I think she talks about passion. Passion and the longevity of
I think she talked about knowledge or something like that, like experience and knowledge, and something about how do you think you can learn this? I can't remember her wording, and it's driving me nuts. But I'm like, the answer was so blatantly obviously, yes, you can learn. You can continue to learn no matter what age you're at.
Yeah. Well, I think we put a lot of limits on ourselves, right?
Oh yeah, 100%.
That's the reality behind a lot of goals or whatever we might have. Or these expectations, we put limits and we put caps on each other, and people sometimes put those on for you, and you'll accept them, and that's what you live your life as. But yeah, I think it's never a bad time to pick up a new skill or talent. Sometimes people are like, they'll be like, oh, they're born with resilience, they're born with grit. Like you're never, I don't think you're born with it. I think you develop it over time.
It was something along those lines,
You know what
where
I mean?
she was talking about grit or resilience or something along those lines that she was talking about. She's like, do you think that can be learned? And the answer was so obvious. I mean, I'm over here thinking, and we've got Relentless sitting next to us, and I'm like, it talks about, and I'm pretty sure if you look into Michael Jordan's history, he was dropped from his high school team. It might have been Kobe. One of the two of them was dropped. And they came back, and now they're one of the absolute greatest basketball players of all time, because they had the grit to continue to bounce back no matter what life gave them. Kobe got elbowed in the nose or something, broken nose, and instantly bounced back. His body didn't bounce back, but his mind bounced back to get him right back into the game and said, let's go.
Right.
I'll play with whatever to win the championship. And I'm pretty positive it was Kobe.
Yeah, I think it was. I think you're right.
But one of the two of them I know was dropped, went into summer camp, and then came out absolutely dominating, because they put in the time, the perseverance, the grit, the fortitude, everything to continue to bounce back after every setback.
And that's really what you need to do, right? I think in one of the notes that I took, she talks about, cultivating it through, you can cultivate resilience or grit through practice or through deliberate practice or learning. And that's how you're able to, I think people just be like, oh, he's just always been tough. But I think sometimes it's those experiences, the Kobe's, all these different things that you have to go through to make you that person. If sometimes we're so quick to want to take back some of the horrific things or some of the crappy things that have happened in our lives. But if you really take away those things, you're not the person that you are today. And it's usually a strong person, right? Mentally, with a lot of things that you've been through, that you've been able to overcome, that, even though they're still a part of you, and they have a part in your history where you're like, damn, like I wish I was different, or I wish I would have been better. Those still built you into who you are today, and who you can help today, who you can actually have a conversation with. That's maybe in that space where you were 2 years ago, 5 years ago, a month ago, whatever it might be. Now you have the knowledge and you have the grit to move forward, to bounce back from that setback or from that situation, that you can now offer your support and help with them directly because you were there. And I think that's what I got from it. That's what builds you. That's where people are like, oh, well, you're cultivating. You're the one that's doing the work to get there.
Exactly. I am so terrible with quotes because Ed Milet has one where he talks about it. About God qualifies the willing or something.
Oh, yeah.
I can't think of it. I'm terrible with quotes, and it freaking drives me nuts.
Some people are just good at it, man.
It's not me, but I love it.
He says I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking
basically what you were just saying, though, that I'm qualified to help somebody from my position.
Yeah.
I can't help somebody from a female's position because I'm not that person. I can't help somebody with an eating disorder because I don't have that.
Mm-hmm.
I might be able to give you advice on this or that, but at the end of the day, my advice is only that. It's me speaking what I can see externally.
Right.
I can't help you through a divorce. I haven't been through one. I don't want to go through one.
I don't.
That's something you could step up and be like, I've been through it. Let's hear what happened. You might be able to help, I've fallen. I've gotten back up. I've almost unalived myself for the YouTube out there because they don't like the other words, but I've come back from that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm learning every day. Like I said, I come back from a back injury. I mean, not serious enough to knock me completely out for a long term, but enough that I was in pain for 2-3 weeks, but I'm back and I'm stronger and I'm pushing, and I didn't let it take me out.
Mm-hmm.
It's that constant resilience and grit to just get better and better and better and to continue to bounce back no matter what life gives me.
But I think also, speak to that, because let's just use the injury as an example, right? People will say, well, how did you stay motivated during those periods? And I know we don't like the motivation word, but I'm just saying, because people will say that. Like, how could you still be motivated to go to the gym or do anything if you're hurt and you know that you can't lift the same weight that you were pushing 2 days ago? Speak on that, because I know people are going to talk about it. People are going to bring that up.
I honestly, if I remember correctly, I was on 75 hard and I refused to quit. I refused to quit just because of that.
Mm.
I could still walk. I could still move my body, and there's no fucking way I'm stopping just because of that. Yeah. I thought about it multiple times throughout the whole course of either 75. I'm like, I would have to be in the hospital in order to stop doing this. I will not quit it because that's just not something I can do. But I'm just disciplined.
Mm.
I mean, the phrase built different.
Mm-hmm.
I am built different, but that built different is me using building blocks of my own to be built different.
Exactly. So to clarify, because I know somebody's going to hear it, see, he's saying he's different, so I can't do it. Where give them a legit, like, because I know where I want to go with this, and I know where I'm trying to lead you here. But just so the excuse person that says, well, see, he's saying he's different, I can't do what he did. There is things that you did mindset wise to get to I'm just built different. Built is the perfect word. You built that. It's not like you were just woke up one day and you've been this your whole life. Like maybe you're not a quitter. I mean, I don't know. I would assume that you're not, but not a quitter. But just like tell people that this is something that is cultivated. This is something that you can build based on every single situation that you're going through your life, even if the small things to the big things to the gym. Because I know somebody's heard that and is going to say, oh, well, see, he said it. He said that he's different, and I know that I'm not that person.
It all comes back. It all comes back to that bouncing back, that resilience, that grit. I just have formulated that. I mean, through the years since I started, I mean, it does help. And I'll say this, it does help having a great support system, which is probably number one. Between my wife, you, some of the other people that I know, that's a great support system. But all of it came down to me just taking that excuse off the table, period. I didn't let myself have that wiggle room. I didn't give myself that inch to move when I was doing that program. I wasn't like, well, I mean, it's like 44 minutes. It's close. No, that's not how it goes. I mean, like you said, it was 46 minutes. 90% of my workouts were 46 plus.
Because you added two things. The Andy Frisella, 75 hard, and what else? The power of what?
Yeah, the power of one more. Damn, I'm not wearing the hoodie. I thought I was going to put it on.
But
all, yeah,
I always reference back to everything that I do now.
There was a massive time where it was always one more rep, one more set, one more something. And it created a lot that I don't like to break my sets up. I don't like to do that. I don't like to do this. But again, I'm built different. Mm-hmm. I don't give myself that room to stop. I will go up in weight when I can do that full set. But I'm going to continue to try the next step, the next step, the next step until I can. Right. As much as I was pissed off last night that I couldn't get the weight I wanted, I was working on depth that I needed out of the other. And I still was able to go heavy. Mm-hmm. Granted, I was pissed off. For multiple reasons, I still put a lot of effort into it.
Right.
A lot of effort into it. But it all comes back down to taking excuses off the table.
Yep.
Do everything you can to take that excuse off the table.
100%.
We were talking to somebody, and he was talking about how his kid was up, and he was up till 2 a.m, and he still showed up at the gym at 4.
Mm-hmm.
No excuses. My kid was in the hospital from 1 to 5 a.m. and I still showed up to work at 6 a.m. and people are like, why the fuck are you here?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, y'all never text me back. Even up until 6 o'clock, I had not heard anything. There's no way in fucking hell I'm going to not show up to work.
Yeah.
That doesn't sit right with me. I refuse to do that.
Right.
But again, I don't let myself have that excuse. Doesn't matter. I don't let myself have that excuse. And it's getting stronger and stronger down to so minute details that it's almost terrible.
Mm-hmm.
I don't let myself have that excuse. And I'm way better in the gym than I am out of the gym. I don't leave an excuse for wiping a machine down. I don't leave an excuse for picking up a fucking piece of garbage. There's no excuse for that.
Yeah.
I look at it as this is my gym. This is my home when I am here, and I'm going to clean it up.
Right.
And I'm getting a lot better at doing that at home too. But it's chaos in my house, as you've seen.
No, it's that's true, man. I mean, I think everything
Hopefully
you said.
that's where you
no,
are.
that's exactly where I was talking about, because I think a lot of people look at that and say, "Well, see, he said it's different," and you hit on a lot of good points, right? One being that you have to have a good support system, but also, I do have a great one now, but I haven't always, and I think you can build those blocks to set yourself up to have a bounce back season or a bounce back stronger from, a situation or whatever. You get to choose what that is.
It's all a mindset.
It's not, I don't think that you have to wait for something huge, or it's just every situation, every decision comes with that, right? If you, oh God, I can't even think of something tiny, but
I mean, I'll put it this way. It's like Andy Frisella says, your actions today, you won't see until 60, 90, 100, 1,000 days from now.
Yep.
But your actions today are setting the pace for what's going to happen in the future, which is exactly what I was actually trying to explain to my kids this morning. Look, you choose what's going to happen in your life. Mm-hmm. You are going to choose if you are going to have parents that are upset with you today or not. It all comes down to your actions. If you stop and think about what is going on, who is at fault, and they both finally realized, well, I'm at fault. Granted, they still didn't want to clean up, but I think they're slowly understanding my actions, as in theirs, or even my actions, are going to affect everything in this household.
Right.
It's that domino effect.
Right.
Your actions are everything.
And then you help them bounce back after they say
Yeah.
they make the wrong decision, or they, not I don't say wrong, but they make a decision that ultimately sets them up for failure, to lose something, or to lose out on something. That's the bounce back. That's the learning experience where they
Yeah.
can build that grit to say, okay, hey, maybe we didn't, I don't know, say that you were like, you got an hour, and they're like, oh, messing around for 45 minutes. Like, you got 15 minutes, you better hurry up. And then they don't make it. The next time they build, it's like a building block of building that resilience of like, okay, we're using simple, minute things, but you could use physical, you could use all kinds of different things to build that resilience. Like
It goes into everything. I mean, it goes down to deadlines at work. It goes down to, literally everything. There's a consequence for every action, and you need to build up the blocks to deal with everything, whether it's in your control or out of your control, because sometimes that building gets crushed before you know it.
Yeah.
And that's out of your control. Maybe your action, maybe it's not even an action you did, but it's going to come back to you eventually.
Yeah, exactly. And you have the willingness to do it again.
Yeah.
Try it again and try it again. In the situation with the kids, like I said, if you take that time away and say that tomorrow, like, you got another opportunity, it's their choice to the willingness to keep doing and keep trying to do better, to build on that part of failure and still be better and better and better. It's their choice. It's our choice every single day, every single decision you make, really. So I just want people to hear that, because I think somebody will hear that and make some BS excuse that, like, I always reference Goggins, because I think he's one of the hardest dudes I've ever
he is
read
built
about.
different.
But he's like, if you ever need anything to read, like, that's the book to read, or that's the person to listen to, because he'll tell you, like, he tells you he went through weight, he went through mental, like, he broke himself down. And I don't say you got to go that far, but he needed to get to where he is. And I think he's one of the baddest dudes. Like, I don't think he cannot not do anything. And I'm sure he'd be like, well, I'm just, he'll tell you, like, I'm not different. I decided to be different. My mindset, I chose to do this. It's the same thing you're saying. Like, I'm built different. Like, it's not that, you are different. It's like you're making yourself different because of the decision you make every single day. And that can always take a step back if you make a wrong decision, but it's your choice to bounce back from that wrong decision and go back to the I'm built different mentality.
All of that said, you're obviously still going to fall. You're still going to fail.
100%.
But that's where you're talking the bounce back. One of the best things that I heard last night is the best thing you can do is hit rock bottom at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's only one fucking way to go.
It's up, baby.
It's up.
Yep.
You
And it's
know.
actually one of the most liberating parts to be in your life. I know it sucks, but when I still remember when I hit rock bottom, I was like, I can't lose anything. I was doing everything. I was like, what am I going to lose? I don't have anything to lose. I got no money. I got no place to stay. I got no wife. I'm losing my kid. Come on.
Now, everybody's rock bottom's different.
Yeah.
My rock bottom is I still am thankful to come home to what I have.
Mm-hmm.
But my mental rock bottom is pretty well fucking hit.
Yeah.
I'm just being real,
Yeah,
guys.
hey.
It is. I thought I've been low, but it's pretty fucked.
Yeah.
But once again, things are aligning in a way that they need to in order to climb back up that fucking mountain.
That's what it's about.
That's what it's about. That bounce back, that grit, because I refuse to let the 3 girls in this house down.
Mm-hmm.
I fucking refuse to let them down.
It's good.
I've let them down enough, and without a doubt, there's going to be falls. Nobody's fucking perfect, people. Just to be clear.
Yeah.
Nobody's fucking perfect. But the goal is that when I hit it, it's bounce back quicker.
Yep.
Quicker every time. And it's getting to that point that it's pretty instantaneous. Yep. Here we go. Actions changed.
I love it. Yep. No, I agree, man, 100%. And thanks for sharing that, man. I think it's imperative for people to hear that and also know that, it's amazing to fail in front of your kids too. For kids and your family to see that. I know sometimes it's hard as a man. You're like, oh shit, but just know that ultimately is a lesson for them as well, to see like, oh my dad is, the willingness to actually do something, because a lot of dudes and a lot of people just aren't willing to do that. So I commend you for that. But man, I agree 100%. So, but yeah, man, that's really what I had, bro. I know that we touched on a lot of different things, and resilience being is really that. It's really the grit part of life, and really figure out where grit fits in your life, individual basis, whether it's through the gym, through your family, through mental health.
It can be multiple things.
Yeah.
You just need to have it. You need to build it. You need to cultivate it. You need to push for it. And you need to just continue to bounce back.
Every single time.
Yeah.
Sweet, man. Any challenges for them this week?
Start digging in.
Ooh.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Just dig in. If you're starting to feel low, just remember, bounce back.
Love it.
You got a challenge. Do you fail? Fuck it. Bounce back.
Yeah. There it is. The challenge. Yeah. Challenges get challenging shit.
Yeah.
Do challenging stuff and fail from it. And like you said, bounce back from it.
Yeah.
I love that, man. Cool.
Thank you, guys. We appreciate you.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Thanks, brother.